Bruce, Dustin, Jorge, go ahead.
Bruce Martin of SportsIllustrated.com. Kyle, if you'd had two back-to-back weekends like you did back in, last week, back in April, it wouldn't even be an issue right now. Are you dumbfounded sometimes that as good as you are, that these things kind of happen in the chase and that you still have yet to really go out there and be a factor in the chase like you'd like to be?
Yeah, I've kind of seen that every year I've been in the chase, something's happened. It's very, very, very frustrating, and it's very disappointing as well too, because you build your whole year, the first 26 races to make the chase. You make the chase, now you have a chance for the championship, and then boom, before you even get halfway in the chase, you're already realistically knocked out. Not mathematically, but realistically knocked out. So this is another one of those years. I mean, I'll have to bounce back as best as I can. I'm not giving up, but all we can do is what we can do on the racetrack. If I go out there and win the last 6 races and Jimmy Johnson finishes in the top 10 even in all those races, I won't beat him. There's not enough points there that I'm going to make up on him. So, it's going to be hard to do, and it is very frustrating, to that point. But, that's racing sometimes, I guess.
Dustin, Jorge, Lee, Spencer.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. Kyle, last 10, 20 laps of a race, you get these restarts. Everybody's trying to get up to the front or get as many points, positions they can. How often in a race do you make a move to try to grab a couple spots that when you make that move, you really wonder if you're going to come out okay on it? And how often do you see other guys do you think, how are they going to come out of that? I mean, how much – I know you guys are going after it throughout the race, but just give me a sense of what that's like and how much people cross that line in the last part. Yeah,
I mean, after the last pit stop, it's almost fair game. It's any man for himself, especially in the last 20 laps of a restart anywhere. It's going to be a crapshoot of what happens. And, yeah, you've got to go for broke. You've got to go for everything you can get. You got to put yourselves in the right positions. You don't want to screw yourself up of getting a good finish or a good points day for that instance. But, I mean, it's a lot of times that, you put yourself in a spot and you're very confident that you make it out of there. And you trust the other guys that you're racing around that they'll be, that they'll be knowing that you're there. I guess is what I'm saying. You rely a lot on the spotters and you rely a lot on the guys' feel of where things are around everybody. Like myself, whenever I'm racing, I hear from my spotter where cars are, but I'm always looking, I'm always double checking. I don't take it for granted all the time. So it's. It is what it is in the last 20 laps. I mean, sometimes you're going to bang fenders, you're going to bang doors. For instance, me and Jeff Burton here in the spring, I barely touched his left rear tire apparently and cut it down with some damage that we had from a pit road skirmish earlier in the race. And, just that little bit of room there in the last 20 laps, whatever it was, hell, it might have even been the last 10 laps. We got together and it ruined a perfectly good finish for those guys and, it got me in the position to finish third. So, you do what you got to do sometimes for yourself, and you don't always worry about the other guy, but you want to make sure that you both make it through. I think it's more just relief. You're like, all right, I made it through that one. Glad I got that. I don't think it's. You're so concentrated on what's ahead that you're not really too pumped up about, ooh, I just made a cool pass. How about that? It's like there's another guy in front of you. You got to go get him.
Got time for 4 more. Jorge, Lee, Ron, and Viv. Go ahead.
Jorge Mendaca, FoxSports.com. Kyle, with the grand opening today, can you look back on this experience as a whole and talk about how it's changed you both away from the track and on the racetrack, if at all?
Well, I mean, I've learned quite a bit away from the racetrack this year and how this all works, and what it takes to get cars to the racetrack. When I first came into this sport when I was 18 years old, I got hired by a team to go drive a race car, got my fire suits and helmets given to me, and got my plane ride given to me, everything. I just show up and drive a race car, and took it for granted, all the work that the team does and everything to build the cars, to build the engines, to get the sponsors on the car, to go to the racetrack and all that. So, it was a lot to understand. There's no said handbook on how all this works, and so you kind of learn the business and you kind of learn the model of what's going on. And for me, it took me till this year to kind of figure all that out. And now I know how much Joe Gibbs Racing goes through, how much Hendrick Motorsports, how much any of these teams go through to get cars to the racetrack that are funded, that have the right people, that have the right equipment and all that stuff.
Lee, Ron, and end with Viv.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Do you feel that Joe Gibbs Racing as a whole can give you the type of cars week in, week out where you're going to be a top 5 contender no matter what racetrack you guys are going to?
Yeah, JGR is definitely capable of doing that. You know, it's whether or not Dave and I can put the right stuff under the car to make it happen. You know, we've been getting a lot better. This is Dave and my first year of working together. You know, so I mean that's not an excuse, but we've gotten a lot better from where we were. You know, we've done really, really well. I feel like we've been a lot more consistent this year. Yeah, we've had some troubles. We've had some bad runs or some mediocre runs, but those are at racetracks we typically have those at anyways, and we've had some really good runs at tracks that I do suck at. But, you know, it's been a learning year for us both, working together and getting used to each other and getting better, going to the racetracks for a second time. You know, hopefully this weekend goes well. It'll be cool to see that, you know, we make improvements from where we were in the spring. Same thing as Dover, same thing as anywhere, you know, we've gone. Kansas was going really well for us versus what I've had there in the past. It just turns out I got about the same average finish I've always gotten there, so that was disappointing. But, you know, we've been, at times throughout races, we've been in the top 5, but we don't run there consistently through the whole race. You know, we'll make an adjustment that might take us back a little bit, but the next stop we'll make a change that gets us back right up in the game.
Ron, and then final question, Viv.
Ron, the Master Zone MC. Based on what you've seen from the new Nationwide Series car, how does it compare to or how do you think it's going to compare over a full season to the one you drive now in Sprint Cup? And have the 4 races that has been run with this, is that enough for next year to get that kind of prediction?
I think the racing next year in the Nationwide Series, as far as with the new car, I don't know. I can't say it's going to be the same. I can't say it's going to be different. You know, I just think that who knows? No one's going to tell. I mean, yeah, in the first 4 races we've seen so far, it seems like the 22 team has really, really been good with it. Harvick's team has really, really been good with it. We've kind of struggled a little bit. So we've had some decent runs. We've been able to run well, but, you know, we haven't had the same cars that we had with the current car. So with that, you know, going into next year, I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's going to be something different. I think the plate sizes, you know, the tapered spacer sizes can be opened up a little bit because these cars are slower. They don't corner as fast as the other car. They don't have as much downforce. So we need to allow them to go a little bit faster than what they are. You know, I don't know, I think we're about a second or a second and a half off what Cup cars are going to be on the Nationwide side. So we got going faster last night just because the cooler temperatures were coming and we got going faster. But, you know, it's going to throw different aspects to everything, you know, whether it's the teams with Cup affiliations or the teams without Cup affiliations. I think it's just going to be different.
Final question. Viv, you've got it.
Hey, Viv Bernstein, New York Times. Are there any theories as to why the ratings are down for races? And is there any, do you wonder at all if it's people are bored with another Jimmy run?
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't have the numbers in front of me to read off to you and to back NASCAR, but I think all sporting events this year have been down a little bit. You know, I think the NFL, we've seen a drop in attendance on those sides, but yeah, their TV numbers are up because people just can't afford to go to the stadiums anymore, I guess. You know, they can't afford the tickets or the season tickets or what have you. So, you know, or sometimes their team isn't doing as good as they wanted to be doing. I mean, we just saw, I think the NFC doesn't even have a team anymore that's unbeaten, you know, so it's been a good year as far as competition on the NFL side. But why is NASCAR any different than any other sports, you ask? I don't think it is. I think you look across the board and it's down around. Maybe we're a little bit further down because we had bigger crowds to begin with. You can put 160,000 people in this place versus an NFL stadium, you put 60,000. You know, TV numbers maybe being a little bit further down because NFL has it on network TV or, yeah, ABC, CBS, whatever during the day. NASCAR's on ESPN. You know, it's cable. It's not network.
Kyle, good luck this weekend.
All right.
Congratulations
Thanks.
on opening the new facility. I look forward to coming up there and getting some T-shirts.